A very good morning to all of you. Now we are to the second part of bows. In the first part we learned about bows. Bows are the people who make boredom to others, who will be talking boring things to others. How do we become a bore? It is said that we all are bows. How do we become bows? It's because we have our own ideas, our own interests, and we try to impose it on others. And so we become bows. We all are interested in our own matters. We are very happy to tell all about us to others, and we want our friends to listen to us. We never see the irrelevance of the topic, or we will not consider the situation in which we are going on talking, or whether the people are interested to listen to us. If we listen, if you are careful about these three things, we will never be bows. It is said in the first part that we all are bows just because we are imposing our ideas on others. But we cannot say that always we are bows. At times we are very good friends to others. We will be able to give instructions, or we are able to help them in one way or the other. So it is not necessary that always we are bows, but in every person there is a trait to talk about ourselves. And it is said the foundation stone of all the bows are egotism. Egotism means self-praising. We are ready to praise ourselves. Then we saw the different topics on which the boss go on talking. About his house, about his garden, about his health, then immunity power. Married people, they will be talking about their partners and children, and about the possessions, and how they are able to cheat others, how they select best restaurants, how they mingle with the people, how the people will be coming in seeking their advice, and see, so many topics are there to talk with. And this bows, that means we each one think we are the axle of this world. That means all the people are just around us. We are the center point, and others are just go behind us, or they are just around us. That much importance we ourselves gives to us. That is what we saw in the first part, and here we saw that Lucas was just thinking whether only men are bows. What about the women? He was asking, and he said it's up to you to decide whether women are bows or not. And we are very sure that not only men, boys, we women, girls are also interested to talk about ourselves. And then in the next part we see that we all are bows just because we have got very many things to say. And see, we are taking our friends to listen to us. It's because we have got that kindness, or we are not ready to say no to others. When someone is there talking with us, we can never say no to him. Only very few people will be able to say, now stop your talking, we are fed up with it. We wanted to say like that, but we are forced not to say. It's because in a way we are afraid. We may think whether if I say like that, what will my friend think about me? Whether they will keep their friendship with me, whether they will avoid me. And so, we will never sow to a bow. We will never say no to a bow. Then, how will you escape from the bow? We have got our own tricks, is it not? When we know a person is a boring person, we will some or the other way escape from that. As soon as we see him or her coming to us some or the other way, we will skip from there. If they are coming straight to us, we will just turn right or left, and some or the other way, we will avoid that person. That is, we saw that the best armor plate is total evasion. We have to escape from them. We have to run away from that person. That is the only thing we can do. Otherwise, we have to sit patiently and listen to them. So I think we will just go through the next paragraph. That is page number 108. You have got the textbook with you, so please take it. Boys are happy largely because they have so much to tell and come so well out of it, but chiefly because they can find people to tell it to. The other paragraph we saw the various topics with which the boys go on talking. They will never stop. When one subject is over, they just continue with the second one. When that is over, with the third one. So, it is, we can say, without any stop, without any break, they will be just going on talking. They will never ask whether you have anything to ask or anything to tell, or whether you are interested to listen to me. Nothing of the sort. They will just shift from one thing to the other and go on. And that is one thing that the boys are happy that they have got enough and more topics to talk with. And the second thing is they have got enough listeners. They have got audience. That is some or the other way we just got into his company and he just go on talking. We cannot just say no. So what we can do? We can just sit quietly there and listen to him patiently. Sometimes we may not listen fully or we may not be so much attentive, but we are there. Our presence is there. And so the boy will be thinking, oh, there are some audience for me, then why can't I talk? So that is what in that sentence it is said. Boys are happy largely because they have so much to tell and come so well out of it. That is, they just go on talking without any stop. But chiefly because, much more than that, the various topics they have to talk, and more than that, what it is, they can find people to tell it to. As they have got topic, they have got listeners also. So, two things are important there. The first thing is that they have got enough topic, and the most important one is that they have got enough audience. The tragedy is they can always find their listeners, me almost first. So here, Evilucus says about himself. He says he is the first person to listen to a boy. He can never say no to him. We told you that his writing is so kind and humane, and that is what we see. He says he will be the first one to listen to a boy. And why can they? We can even notorious. Why can even notorious boys always be sure of an audience? The answer is the ineradicable kindness of human nature. See, notorious boy, that is, everyone knows that he is a boy. But still, that person gets enough audience. Why it is? It is because the kindness of the human being. The kindness of the human being. That is, people can say no to others. They are patient listeners. Let him say, as I haven't got anything else, I will just sit and listen to him. So some people are like that, always ready to listen to others. And so the boys are also interested to talk about various subjects. Few men are strong enough to say, for heaven's sake, go away, you weary me. Few men are. See, few. What do you mean by few? Actually, it is a negative meaning. That means we have heard few, a few, the few. Have you heard about this three way of saying? Few means it is a negative meaning. Absolutely nothing. A few means some people are there. The few, some people, what is there? That people. So few men are strong enough to say. That means nobody is there enough to say what? For heaven's sake, go away, you weary me. See, you are just talking about boring. You are making us boring. You are boredom to us. You just stop your talking and go away. Nobody is there to say so. And so, the boss will go on talking. So, few men are strong enough to say, for heaven's sake, go away. You weary me. Boss make cowards of us all, and we are left either to listen and endure or take refuge in craven flight. So the boss will make us a people cowards. That is, we are afraid to say no. They are making us fearful. That is, we are not strong enough to say no. Then what else can we say? Can we do? We can just sit and listen. Or it is said that, or to take refuge in craven flight. Craven flight means cowardly. That is, we are just afraid of that person and we are just running away. Seeing the shadow of that person, we will just run away from him. That is what we can do. So see, there are two options only. One is to listen to that person or to run away from that person. See, some or the other way we will be just caught hold of by that person. Then what else can we do? We can just sit and listen. If we see him coming, we will try to escape from that person. We see them in the distance and turn down side streets or hasten from the room. See, if we see such a bow coming towards us, what will you do? We will just get away from that person. We will take another direction. We will just go away from that person. Or if he is coming to his room, the other person will be able to say some excuse. See, I wanted to meet such and such a person, or I have something to do. Like that, something or the other way, they say and escape from that person. If we start listening, we will never be able to go away from that person. I hope it's clear. So we are talking about the bows, and bows, we said that everyone is a bow, but some people are conscious about their boorishness, and so at times they will just think of their boorishness and they stop their talking. But some people, they will never think of their boorishness. They are never aware of their boorishness. They think that they are the most important person, and as they have got to various topics, they will just go on talking. And the listeners, they have to listen carefully there. That's all they can do. But now people have learned some tricks. And so, if we know that person is coming to us, we will be telling some excuse before starting listening to them. And we will run away. And here in the next section, our E.V. Lucas, author, is telling about one of his friends. And what is he saying? Let us see. One man I know has a combat with a page boy, whose duty it is, whenever my friend is attacked by a certain beau in the club, to hasten up and say he is wanted on the telephone an ingenious device, but it must not be worked too often. Now see, he is talking about a person whom he knew. And see, he is one of the member of a club. And the other person, a boy, also comes to this club every day. And whenever they meet together, they will just go on talking. And this person is just fed up with that man. And he has made an agreement with a helping person there, with a page boy. And what is the agreement? That if this person is found talking with this boy, at once he has to come and tell him that he is wanted in the telephone. We know now everyone has got their own mobiles, but during those days there may not be these mobiles, and so they may have to attend the land phone, and that is why such a trick could be used. Only one phone may be in a land phone in the club, and this page boy or the messenger or the helping boy will have to come and tell, see, you are wanted it on the telephone. And so some or the other way this man will tell an excuse and leave from that place. So that is the agreement he has made with this page boy. He may be giving something to that man and that boy because it is a great help for him. So see, listen once more. One man I know has a compact means agreement, with a page boy. Page boy means messenger or helping boy in the club, whose duty it is, whenever my friend is attacked by a certain boy. So boss, almost everyone is a boy, and so this boy, they are aware about this boy, and so whenever he is attacked means whenever he is engaged with this boy, what is the duty of the page boy? To hasten up and say he is wanted on the telephone. See, as soon as you see me engaged with this boy, you have to come and tell me that I am wanted on the telephone. So I can say an excuse and just leave him there. Thus I can escape from that boy. And he himself says, an ingenious device. Ingenious means clever. See, I am not giving any pain to that person, telling that I am not interested or you are boring me. Nothing of the sort it is said. See, I have got a phone call, so let me just go. So in a way, it's a clever way of escaping. But it must not be worked too often. But see, every day, if we just say the same excuse, the other boy can understand, oh, he is just leaving me like this. Once or twice or thrice, it can be. But every day, if the page boy is coming and telling, see, you are wanted on the telephone, the boy can understand, see, this is the trick he is playing in order to escape from me. So that is why it is said, but it must not be worked too often. Because, my dear friend, although he can stoop to deceit and subterfuge, would not for anything let the boy think that he was avoiding him. See, he is doing such a deceit, such a cheating thing. He is not wanted on the telephone. He wanted to escape from this person and he is playing a trick. And still that man thinks, see, how can I say like this every now and then? It's a real cheating for that person. It will be it may not be that much pleasing. He may not think good about me. So there also a soft corner for this boy. Would not bring grief to that complacent candid face. And he says, see, if I just go on saying like this, if I am trying to escape from this person, his face will not be so good. He understands my trick and then he will not keep company with me, or he will also stop talking to me. Then, for it is one of the boy's greatest asset that he has a simplicity that disarms. So see, the greatest asset of a bow is his simplicity that disarms. He is very simple. He may be, when others say something, he may listen. He may just think, oh, it may be the correct thing. Because he hasn't got any other bad thinking about that person. He is very simple to believe others. And that is the greatest asset of a bow. Then, who all are not bows, it is said in the last line, astute, crafty men are seldom bows. Very busy men are seldom bows. So, in the beginning of that paragraph, we saw that few men are strong enough to say no to him. Few. There it is a negative meaning. In the same way, seldom. That word also shows a negative meaning. So, see, it is a, for it is astute, crafty men. Astute means shrewd or crafty. And again it is said crafty men are seldom bows. That means crafty people, that is one who is ready to cheat others, they may not be bows. And then one more else, that is busy people. They have no time to make us bow. And these two people are not bows. That is what E.V. Lucas says. See, who all are not bows? That is astute, crafty men and very busy people are seldom bows. That means they are also positive or not positive. It is also negative. That means at times they can also be bows. I hope it's clear to you. Now see, we will just go through some of the questions. That is, you have got the questions with you. Just see, why are bows as a rule always bows? It is, we have already gone through that, because of their egotism. That is, everyone is ready to praise themselves. See, I praise myself. Others, he or she, they praise himself or herself. So egotism is the thing which make people boring. Then what, according to E.V. Lucas, is the foundation stone of bows? Again the same answer, egotism. The foundation stone of every bow is egotism. How do bows manage to get an audience? And we know it is the kindness of the human being. Nobody dare enough to say no to a bow. And it is the kindness of all human beings that gives audience to the bows. Then fourth one, Punch is a humor magazine. We said that Lucas was associated with a newspaper, a magazine, and about a literature. That is, here Punch is a humor magazine. Then best armor plate against the bows. Best armor plate, in the introduction I told you, that is total evasion, getting away from the bows. Then why does Lucas say that everybody is a bow at some time? Because everybody has got a fixed idea or interest. And what do? We try to impose it on others. So when we impose our ideas and interest on others, we become a bow. We are not leaving others to have their own ideas or interest. Then second one we haven't taken. Then third one, why according to Lucas are bows happy? Bows are happy just because they have got a very many topics to talk with. We have gone through the topics on which they go on talking. And the second thing, or the most important thing, that they have got enough audience. Just because of the human nature. We human are kind. We can never say no to others. And so, the boss have got enough topic and enough audience. And fourth question, again the same question, why do boss always find an audience? It is the kindness of the human being. We are not able to say no to others. And so when we got into his company, into the company of Bo, we have to listen to that person. If we see him beforehand, when we see him coming to us, we can just get away from that person. But when we got into his company, we have to listen to him. In the next class, I will discuss about the various or the 4 different types of bows. That is, in the coming to paragraph, we are discussing with 4 types of bows. And that question, every now and then, we get as a paragraph question. That we will discuss it in the next class. Okay. So, for today, I think is sufficient. So, go through your text, and the next day I will be able to send you the notes and go through it. Okay, thank you.